Hey, what's up, peeps? I'm back with another video. Finally, yay! Excuse my naps. I was kind of lazy this morning, and yeah, I was running late, so didn't have time to do anything with them. But anyway, so I was going to just have a little brief video giving a couple of quick tips on reading your birth chart. For those people who are mainly familiar with sun sign astrology, you know the month and day you were born, so you know what the sign is that the sun was in during that time and identify with that. But say that you want to look up your birth chart and you're really curious about it, but you don't really understand a couple of things. So I'm just going to give a couple of quick tips. So number one is the main thing that I wanted to give people a tip on, a tip that really helped me out myself, is the wheel, the wheel that has the houses on it. And how do you determine what that means? Say, for example, you pull up your birth chart on Cafe Astrology or astro.com, and it gives a description of the fact that you have your sun in the 8th house. What is the 8th house? And it'll give this description that sounds like you, and it's pretty accurate, but you're like, I don't understand what an 8th house is. So you've calculated your birth chart and you're looking at the wheel and you're confused and you're like, what does this mean? And what does the description of this house thing mean? Okay, so the birth chart, it is divided up into 12 sections that are called houses. It divides, it's like drawing a big circle in the sky and then dividing it up in 12 sections. It kind of looks like a pizza, you know, pizza slices, right? So what each one represents is a certain area of your life. And if you have planets that are in those houses, then the energy of that planet plays out in a certain area of your life more than it would in another area. It has some significance there. But as far as what the houses mean, like how do you understand it? Okay, this is how I understood it. So you get familiar with the zodiac wheel itself, with the signs Aries through Pisces. Signs Aries through Pisces are numbered 1 through 12. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and Pisces is the 12th. So when you read a description of the houses, if you have your sun in the 8th house, you have to think of what the 8th sign of the zodiac is, and that is Scorpio. So even if you have your sun in Cancer, the sign of Cancer, but the sign of Cancer was in the 8th house. So you have to put everything together. What does the sun represent? What does the sign of Cancer represent? What is that energy? How does that play out? And then you have to think of the energy of Scorpio because of the house number. So you kind of add those things together, add up that equation, and that equals how the sun plays out in your life and in your personality. So that is one way that really helped me because I am a numbers person myself. There might be other people out there that can correlate everything based on numbers as well. So just remember, Aries is the first sign, Pisces is the 12th. You go through the zodiac, you learn the signs and the characteristics of each one, and then you kind of put those together with the house. So if you're listening to a monthly horoscope and they are talking about transits of planets transiting through a certain house of your chart, then what that means is for that time period that planet is is going through that house and bringing a certain energy. It's bringing the energy of that house alive for that time period, for that month or couple weeks or whatever. So for example, say you listen to a horoscope and they say Mercury is going retrograde through your 8th house. So what does Mercury represent and rule? You think about that. It's communication. And then if it's going backwards, which is reviewing, then it's in your 8th house, which has to do with Scorpio type of matters in life, like joint finances, for example. That's just one small example of what the 8th house in Scorpio rules. But you may have to be reviewing joint finances and Scorpio/8th house matters for that month. So when you listen to horoscopes and you hear them talking about the houses that is what they mean. They mean just that area of your life is being highlighted, that the energy of that house is being brought to life even more, brought to the surface than regular everyday life, than usual. It's being brought to the surface more than usual during that time. So that's just a quick tip that I had for reading a chart and listening to your horoscopes, your monthly horoscopes. One last thing I wanted to point out is when you listen to monthly horoscopes or you read them from professional astrologers, not just the BS on the back of the newspaper or in Cosmo. I'm talking about real astrologers giving you a horoscope. When you read or listen to them, yes, your sun, your moon, and your ascendant signs do count, and they do all play out in your life for that time being, that month, that year, whatever, when you check out those horoscopes. And the reason why is because the planetary transits that are happening are aspecting those signs, all of those signs, affecting all signs in a certain way. So even if you have like a sun in Scorpio and a moon in Taurus and they're opposite signs from each other, if you listen to your horoscope for both, it might be a little bit contradicting and, you know, opposite, but they both will play out in your life in some kind of way. Also your moon sign, because your moon is your emotional self, your emotional well-being, your comfort, and everything that has to do with nurturing, parenthood, motherhood, all of those things. So if you're listening to your monthly horoscope based on the moon, then you will be affected emotionally in whatever ways that they are talking about in that horoscope. So those are just a couple little tips that I had, and I really hope that they help. If you have any questions, leave them below and I'll be happy to answer them. And I appreciate people bearing with me between my long gaps of posting videos. I'm filming in my car again because I don't really get a lot of solitude, and you know, I need to really tune in and give it my all and my best. I need to give it my all when I do anything that has to do with astrology. So yes, it looks ghetto, me filming in my car, but I really just want to share info and just get videos out there. So thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for watching. Peace.